we'll go to the program. So here I am going to cover creation of array, initialization, declaration, and instantiation, and displaying the values, accessing, storing, everything I am going to cover here. Now, here I'm taking the array, I'm taking the class name as something like test array. Next, I'm taking the main method because program execution starts from main. Now, this is a way of creating an array, right? Int a equal to new int a of 5 with size 5. I am created array. This is declaration come instantiation, right? We are created object that is nothing but instance. Now, so you can do this is a one way. The other way is directly you can initialize the elements. So int a equal to you can initialize the elements. Declaration come initialization. After this, what I'm doing? So I'm following only the first part. Sir, I want to store the elements now. A of 0, 10, A of 1, 20, A of 2, 70, A of 3, 40, A of 4, 50. This is how what I'm doing. I'm initializing the elements to this array. Next, I want to display the array elements by going through the array. Now, array index starts from 0. So I want to find the length of array and I want to increment the elements position by position. Now system.out.println a of I value initially 0, a of 0, 10 will be displayed. Loop will be repeated. A of I value become 1, a of 1 that is 20 will be displayed. This is the way it will display until a of 4 that is 50. So whenever I value becomes 5, right? 5 less than array length is also 5, 5 less than 5, the condition become false, becomes out of the block. This is the one way of accessing the elements from the array. So you can also use instead of this for loop, you can also use for each. So this for each we will cover in the collections, right? This is a very simple syntax to access the elements by using the for each. This is all about the one-dimensional array. Coming to the two-dimensional array, here, 1 minute. This is the example for the two-dimensional array. What I'm doing, I'm taking a class name as matrix. Next, I'm taking the main method. Now I'm creating the two-dimensional array. First dimension represents the rows, second one represents the columns, right? Now here I'm initializing directly. The first set of elements that represents the first row of elements. Second set represents the second row of elements. Third set represents the third row of elements. That in the sense this array, the JVM will allocate the memory to this array in this format 23, 67, 78 and 24, 62, 73, 82, 57, 86. This is how it is going to allocate the elements. Now, I want to display it in the matrix form, right? If you want to display it in the matrix form, we need to use the nested for. One for loop for the rows, the other for loop for the columns. So this you need to understand. Row equal to 0. When the row is 0, then I will enter into the loop, right? So here I will show you r is equal to 0, right? 0 less than 3, condition true, we will enter into the inner for loop. So column is equal to 0, column less than 3, condition true, we will enter into the from outer for loop to inner for loop to body of the inner for loop. Now x is our array, row 0, r and c, column 0. 0, 0 position that is 23. So here I am representing 23 we displayed. After that we are taking /t, that means tab space. After that inner for loop gets incremented. So here observe my cursor carefully. I'm differentiating with the different color. So this is the inner for loop gets incremented. Now column becomes 1, 1 less than 3, true. X of row remains same, column remains 1, 0, 1. 0, 1 position means this is the element. That is 67 gets displayed. Again, tab space. Again, loop gets repeated. Now C becomes 2, 2 less than 3, true. X of column, row same, column is 2. 0 to position 78, tab space. Then column became 3, 3 less than 3. This will become false. Whenever the inner for loop is false, then what we will do, we will go to the outer for loop. Now we will take the next step, that is println. We will come to the new line, then loop will be repeated. As of now, R is 0 only. Now the R will become 1. So R is 1 now, 1 less than 3, true, will enter. When we are entering for the next time, this column again starts from 0, right? 0 less than 3, true. Now X of R is 1 and column is 0. So R, whenever the R is 0, we executed C for 3 times. When R is 1, C is 0 will be executed, 1 will be executed, C 2 will be executed. That in the sense, X of 1 0, X of 1 and 1, and X of 1 and 2. So 1 0 will be 24, after that tab space 62, tab space, then 73. Again, whenever the condition C is 3, condition will become false, then we comes to the next line. This is how we are going to display the elements in the matrix form, right? This is the way of initializing the two-dimensional array, storing, then accessing by using the nested for loop, right? Now I'm clearing this. I'm coming back to our slides now. So that is all about the initialization and declaration, initialization, storing and retrieving the elements in one-dimensional array as well as two-dimensional array. Now, so do we get any exceptions in arrays? Of course, these are the two exceptions we will get from the arrays. So null pointer exception as well as array index out of bounds exception. So when we will get the null pointer exception means we are created a array without size and initialized to null remains null only. You cannot reassign the value because this array, it does not allow us to assign a value again and again, right? So when we try to assign a value, it generates a null pointer exception. This is the one case. So the other exception is array index out of bounds exception, right? So whenever we are created an array, if you are trying to access the elements of array with negative values or value with equal to the array size or more than array size. For example, I will take an example here. You are taking array size as 5. Let's say if you are trying to access with the negative indexing, or you are accessing with the equal size, or if you are accessing with the more than array size. In these three cases, this array index out of bounds exception will occur, right? This is all about your arrays, guys. So we'll meet again in the next session. Thank you.